Okay, so let's take a look at how you can use app services on Microsoft Azure. So we first log into Azure portal. Next thing we will be checking the services, or alternatively I can click on create resource. Right, so I will just go for all services so that I can access things easily. Now here I can select from the list of options for web. Here we have app services. Now here we will create a new app service, so click on create. It should open up a new area for you to choose the configuration. So as you can see, all the tabs available. First we will start from project details. We'll choose the subscription, then resource group. Then next we will be taking a look at instance. So here you can see web plus database option we have, but currently I don't want that, so I will just choose name. So let's see, I will choose my dev app. Let's see if that is available. If not, then my dev sample. So let's hope it is available. So once we choose that particular instance, we can click on code as an option to publish and not use Docker or static web app. Here runtime stack I can use Python or Go or even PHP. So that would be easier for me to upload the code and I can get it started. The most simple would be going with PHP. You just have to upload the files and you are good to go. So I would choose most likely that option, PHP 8.2. I can now select the Linux as operating system, keep the region default for now because it's selected for me. I can also manually select this if I want. Now here you can see the pricing plan and Linux plan. Here you can see it's selected for me. Right, now the thing is, I will just select the most simple option. I will choose free option for myself. Right, once we choose that, you notice that there isn't zone redundancy option available for us, which is good enough. We don't need that either. Okay, because this is being tested, we don't need. So here, let's say if you have GitHub account or repository, you can enable that for continuous deployment by clicking on enable. However, in some cases currently it is not supported. Right, so all the options will be grayed out. Now let's move to networking. Right, here I can enable public access. Click on, there is also network injection, so we can enable this, but it seems like grayed out again, so not available. So based on tier it will be available. So a lot of options are grayed out for free plan. It then comes application insights, which is also disabled, so free plan limitation again. So I'll move to final, which is tags. I can assign that for sorting purpose. Right, then finally let's go to review and create. So it will pass through a validation test. Notice that here we have selected our URL my dev sample, then it will be published as a code and it's PHP based. Right, it is Linux instance and it is free, so it will have some free quota per month. As you can see, it says free SKU, estimated price free. Right, so we will just click on create to finalize the deployment. So it will take a minute or two, so based on that you will have to just be patient for deployment to start. Once started, it will go through series of checks within that zone for the resources, and if not available it will try to shift us to another zone or so. As you can see, it started the deployment and it will even show us the work that is being done. Once the green light goes, it will tell us that go to the resource. now here you can see that we have deployment, and we can click on go to resource. You can now access your web app from the portal, right? So here you see all the available set of options for your deployment. Here you can see the name, publishing model, runtime stack, domain, right? You can add custom domain if you want, right? Just like any other website you do with adding the custom domain, here will be the process that will allow you to custom name server, and then you can assign it for this particular web app, right? There is deployment center. We will have to check some of the options for that, right? Now here, as you can see, the default domain we have. If we try and open it in new tab, let's see what appears, because currently we do not have a content. So there must be some sort of a placeholder text from Azure that explains to you that there is some instance running for this web app and you can access it. So let's go and check that. Okay, it will take a bit of time, so we will give it a time, and meanwhile we can explore the settings. So starting from configuration, let's take a look at the options that we have. So go to settings and click on configurations, right? So here you can take a look at variety of options that you have for application setting, connection strings, right? You can also create new connection strings, and similarly there is also application setting option. You can click on plus and that would apply, right? There is also authentication for you. Currently we have authentication and option to upload your code through FTP, right? So we'll be exploring that too, right? And all the options, as you can see, but a lot of those are being grayed out as well. So we will take a look at two things here. First being deployment center. So we will look at all the available option for us, right? So here you see, like I mentioned before, you can choose the FTP credentials, right? Here you have username, you can check the password or copy it. You can use FTP tool like FTPzilla. Click on that, download, and then add your details like endpoint, username, password, and then try to access files, upload files, etc. Right? There is log option for checking out the commits and all the access that you have done. Then in settings, you can also set the continuous deployment point for GitHub, Bitbucket, Azure reports, external Git, and so on, right? So from this point onwards, you get the clarity on the type of deployment you can follow for uploading the files and seeing the results, right? So whenever you create a web app, you can come directly to the deployment center, check these options, and set up the continuous deployment using the GitHub or Bitbucket, and then connecting to deployment center and regularly pushing the changes, which should also update your site, right? Then there is the DNS option. Okay, so custom domains can look at. There is also certificate option. Here you can see the option to add the domains. It will require you to upgrade, currently not available for free plans, obviously. Now there is certificate option. So a lot of website these days require the certificate, so you can bring in your own, like those Let's Encrypt or so, and upload the file or upgrade your account so that you can apply, right? Apart from that, there are other features like I mentioned SSH advanced tools, also app service plan you can switch between, right? So we will take a look at that as well. You can see the CPU memory percentage data being accessed, right, and the apps that you have. Okay. So currently it will have one app. Clicking on it will go back to your app, right? So within this particular page you can see we are back, right? You can stop your app as well, you can restart, you can delete, right? And you can also take a look at your domain that is being allocated to you. Here you can see previously the message was not available, but now it is showing some placeholder text, right? You can learn how to deploy and make your website visible within your app service, right? So we have pretty much covered most of the basic details, so you get the idea how to create a app service, how to deploy that app, and how to make the whole flow for your app through Microsoft Azure. So I hope you get the idea.